All right, guys, welcome to a brand new module all about estate planning and legal. Now, this might sound like the most boring module of all, maybe besides taxes or insurance, but this is incredibly important. I'm going to bust through these topics really quickly and concisely and make sure you understand what they are and why they're important and how they fit in without going into tons of laborious detail. I just want to make sure you get the best and most concise info. So let's just start talking about why estate planning, what it is, why it's so important, why you need to think about it. Estate planning, essentially, we commonly think of estate planning as like something only wealthy people do, right? Like, I don't have an estate. Well, the thing is, if you have assets and you have dependents, then if you have assets, you have an estate. And if you have dependents, you have a need for an estate plan. That's just the bottom line. If you have any kids and if you own a house, all of a sudden you have an estate and you need to plan for it. Okay. And it's especially crucial early on, especially when kids are minors and there's just a lot more at risk then. Later on, you have more time to figure it out and restructure things. So essentially what it is it is an effective way to transfer or pass on assets from you to your beneficiaries once you're gone. Okay. That's, in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's the best way to do it legally, considering taxes, and also considering the actual process, like the nuts and bolts of making it happen and making it easy and effective and efficient. Okay, so there's not a lot of wasted time or wasted expense. Now, when you put an estate plan together, you actually have a lot more control over what happens with your assets and how they're passed on and what that looks like, how it's structured, even though you're gone, right? So it's kind of your voice and your wishes living beyond the grave. It clarifies your intentions. You can be extremely clear about what you want, exactly what you want. And so that things happen the way you want them to happen, okay? Some of the biggest messes I've seen when people pass away is a lack of an estate plan or a very murky, unclear estate plan. And that can lead to a whole plethora of problems and legal troubles and fighting and all types of things like that. It's a mess. And when you die, kind of like insurance, right? You have to think more about the people you're leaving behind than yourself. When you die, you don't want to leave your loved ones in a mess. Okay. You just don't want to do it. So that's why estate planning is really, really important. Now, if you get to have a massive amount of wealth, right? You accumulate a lot of wealth. It can also help you structure things in a way that you pass on the most amount of that to your beneficiaries that you've designated, instead of having a lot of it go just to taxes or be eaten away by other costs and stuff like that. So there is definitely very complicated structures that you can formulate for passing on massive amounts of wealth and avoiding the death tax or the estate tax and things like that. So we'll talk about some of those things, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. That's why it's important. So let's just dive right in.
Protect today so tomorrow feels lighter.